I visited Kazakhstan for the first time, and here's my honest experience. Now, I visited Kazakhstan back in October of 2025, and I was there for a little bit under a month. And I traveled with one of my bestest friends, who is from Kazakhstan, and we were invited to the wedding of one of our good friends. But while we were there, we also found the time to explore and travel to different places. First stop was Almaty, then Kızılorda, which was for the wedding, and then at last was Astana. And I would just like to apologize for my poor Kazakh and Russian pronunciation in advance. I really tried mastering some phrases before leaving.
Tusunbim. Oh, I feel like I sound very Swedish right now.
I need a doctor.
What? Where's the word doctor in that sentence? And that's a long way to say I need a doctor too.
And I definitely think that I'm more confident in saying some of the key phrases now, like "Selametsiz be", "Мен Kazakhsha kishkene bilimin", "Qalaysın", "Жақсы, рахмет", and a little bit of Russian as well. "Здравствуйте", "Как дела", "Хорошо", "Спасибо", "А ты как?", "Что делаешь?", "Собачка". And I did end up using some of these phrases, especially "Kishiriniz", which means I'm sorry, like when you bump into someone. I feel like that's always a very useful phrase to know in any language, and I also tend to bump into a lot of people, so... In my experience, I definitely felt like the locals did appreciate my efforts of speaking the language. Even if it's just a few phrases of hello, how are you definitely see their faces light up a little bit. With that being said, I also found out that I messed up a few times, and maybe even came across as rude when I would say phrases such as "Saubol" instead of "Saubolnes" when talking to elders. So Kazakh's one of those languages where there are informal and formal ways of addressing people. And using the informal way to address an elder might lead you to be in a bit of a pickle. I don't even think we have a formal way of addressing people in any of the Scandinavian languages for that matter. I think the closest we would have is the word "Deas", but I would only use that for "Deas Majestät", like Your Majesty. I mean, we even call our teachers by the first name. But so anyway, after I had shook the hands of every respected elder at the wedding and told them "Saubo" to everyone and each of them, I was informed that that was maybe not the best word to use. But let's get really into the travel experience itself. And the first destination was beautiful Almaty. And we were flying pretty good actually. This was my first time in business class, and we had been using these points from the frequent flyer miles program. And I personally think this upgrade was worth it. I even got a pair of socks to cover up these dogs. Now, Almaty is actually a very big city. It used to be the capital of Kazakhstan before Astana. And it's a city right surrounded by snow-capped mountains with a bunch of ski resorts. And from what my friends tell me, it's also an area very popular among tourists. Besides that, I think that Almaty has a very cozy atmosphere. And if I had to describe Almaty in just one sentence, I would say it's a relaxed or chill city surrounded by lots of nature, which is great because I love nature. And it really was a good time to visit the city because there was all these beautiful colors on the trees and the weather was kind of warm as well. Oh, and there's actually like a decent amount of parks to go for walks, which, I mean, if you know me, I really am like a dog that needs to be walked every day. I will say, however, some of the more breathtaking places are outside the city of Almaty, but still within the region of Almaty. And one of our friends was so kind enough to drive us all the way to, bear with my pronunciation here, Charin Canyon, Qayandı Lake, and the Kolsay Lake. And let me just say, these places are so surreal. If you're into nature like me, or you just need a getaway from city life, I can strongly recommend these places. Charin Canyon is first of all one of those places where you would expect an epic standoff between two cowboys. The only thing missing are the cowboys. Now, don't let any of these clips fool you. There are actually a decent amount of people visiting, but the place is just so big that you don't really notice. And if you ever go on this hike, remember to bring a bottle of water. I don't think I've ever looked back on a day in my life and thought, wow, I was really thirsty. But this day, combined with the hike and the weather, is probably just one of my strongest memory of dehydration. And this was also my first time ever visiting a canyon. And I'm just so surprised to see how much life is here despite the dry valley floor. But then again, there's also this river at the end of the hike which probably contributes to that. And the same actually goes for Kolsay as well. I'm just so surprised at how much life is to be found. And we actually spent the night here and had a real glamping experience. And I made this little tour of our room, which was actually a free upgrade since the room we initially booked was not available. And I'm very grateful it wasn't available because waking up to these panoramic windows with this view is just something so peaceful. I mean, even the air felt different, but in a good way. Like it was kind of cold, but very refreshing at the same time. And the entire place just smelled of pine trees. And the view reminded me of the mountains of the Toblerone logo. You know what I'm talking about.
That's the highest point of Kazakhstan.
Who said Everest?
And we made sure to make the most of our time here, pretty much spending all of our time outside, going for walks and using the boat on the lake. And I even got to have my picture taken on top of a hill. And something that stuck with me from this trip was one of the hotel staffs mentioning the presence of bears in this forested area. To this day, I have no idea if he was joking, but I did have the slight hopes of seeing a bear, which in hindsight, I'm kind of glad we didn't see it. That sounds kind of dangerous. I think I just love the Brother Bear franchise a little bit too much. Overall, I would definitely recommend Almaty to nature lovers, but it also seems to have a good balance of city life. It has its fair share of cafes and restaurants, and in Almaty was actually my first time trying qamыс, which is fermented horse milk, and shubat, which is camel milk.
Just drink it like wine.
No, more.
Oh my god.
More.
Like yogurt, he said.
Drinking a lemon.
Ладно, koysal olsun bir koy.
Okay.
You know when milk goes bad? And with a
I mean,
lemon to
I
that?
could try it and tell us, is it a normal kumis? Because maybe it's the thing with kumis in general.
Oh, it's very normal. Even diluted.
Okay, try the other one.
It smells like milk.
Don't try.
It was good.
Yeah.
You like it?
Because usually people don't like this one and like that one.
This one's real good.
For example, even Kazakhs majority, they don't like this one much.
I don't like it.
And when I arrived to Kuzlurdat for the wedding, I for the first time tried bishparmak, which is a traditional Kazakh dish meaning 5 fingers, because it's meant to be eaten with your hands. Now the dish itself consists of flat noodles and boiled meat, which is typically horse meat, but from my understanding there are also alternatives such as beef or lamb or even fish. And this dish, Kazakhs love this dish. They'll eat this dish for everything. Weddings, birthdays, probably even random Tuesdays. You name it, the dish is there. And I understand why. I got to try it on multiple occasions and it's kind of good. There was lots of it at the wedding. Or should I say, weddings. So the wedding culture in Kazakhstan is truly next level. The wedding is not just one day. There are multiple events. There's the wedding celebrations on the bride's side, also on the groom's side, even traditions where the bride spends time with the groom's family. There's the pre-wedding celebration. There's a pre-wedding celebration. No, I'm just kidding. But let's just say that Kazakhs, they know how to party. They know how to dance, they know how to have fun. And I am actually super introverted. I rarely come out of my shell. It was kind of nice just to let loose and just to have fun. And I've really never seen anything like these wedding celebrations before. And I think it's just so beautiful to hold on to that culture and this tradition. And shout out to Shah and Bota for the invitation and for giving me a glimpse into your culture, which is so beautiful. And sorry for messing up the speech. I didn't know I was gonna speak. I had nothing prepared and I thought to myself, I don't even know the language. There's no way they're gonna put me on the stand. And then I was told to give a speech. People tend to have a lot of faith in me. Y'all are asking this dude to give a speech. That's a lot of confidence you have. But I mess up. Kinda badly. I tell myself, there are 600 people watching you right now. You better do a perfect speech. I start sweating and I end up saying the wrong name. I meant to say congratulations, Shah and Bota. In my head, I tell myself, remember to say the word for thank you. Just say thank you for the invitation. Wait, what was the word for thank you? So what comes out of my mouth is, hey, Bota and Rahmiet, congratulations, you two. I really hope that people didn't notice or that they just forgot. But here I am, mentioning it again. And even for those 30 seconds or so that I spoke like Yoda randomizing the position of every word in the sentence. Happy marriage you will have. Despite that, it was a really unique experience. And I even received some gifts from the newlyweds, such as a coat and sarqit, which is a bag of leftovers marinating together so that the apple tastes like horse meat. Still tasty though. Now, after the wedding, we were headed to Astana, the capital. And my first impression of this city was, wow, this is like the New York of Kazakhstan. There are so many tall buildings, there's so much traffic, there are so many lights. I definitely get the vibe that this is a city more focused on work life and just the modern city life in general. I also noticed that coffee shops were open to very late. I feel like it's definitely a very hard working city, and I even had the opportunity to visit Nazarbayev University, NU, which I don't even know where to start with this place. This place is huge. The second you walk in, you're met with these huge banners hanging from the ceiling. It almost gives this Hogwarts Harry Potter vibes with the different houses or clans, or I don't know what they're called, but at the same time it also feels like you're walking in an indoor park with fountains and trees and even these street lights. And although we visited the university on a Monday at 6 p.m., I wasn't expecting to see a lot of people. But they've got library and students are just quietly studying, minding their own business. Also got sports halls. I mean, people are really just doing their own thing. I actually really liked the university. It was all very clean and polished, and I'm not sure if any of y'all have ever played SimCity or heard of it, but this truly feels like one of those like mini towns you build in the game. And I guess no campus is ever complete with this contact lens dispenser. There's really a first for everything. And I think this also proves my point of Astana feeling a little bit more futuristic in some sense. It's all super impressive and super modern, but if you're looking for nature, Almaty definitely takes the crown on that. Now, we weren't in Astana for too long. I mean, we did visit a few destinations outside of Astana, but when it comes to the city itself, I'm not sure how much of the city I really discovered. Now, overall, looking back at this entire trip, I would say it's a super memorable trip, and I did feel very safe, especially in Astana. But I also have to mention that I had a Kazakh friend accompany me maybe 95% of the time. So I was never really alone and never really in a situation where I would feel anxious or unsafe. I was not really on my own trying to get around. And I never had any of those stressful moments like where your phone is dying, not knowing where to go, except for one time when I had a dentist appointment in Astana. I took a taxi to a place where I couldn't find the clinic. But even then, there was someone to ask, and with the translation app, people are more than willing to help and point me in the right direction. But that's not to say that everything went smoothly. We did have a few situations. At one point, we got into an argument with a driver who tried to charge us more for an upgrade we never really asked for. And he was yelling, demanding more money. But I guess that's just something you can run into anywhere in the world, really. But I would definitely say that my trip to Kazakhstan has been very memorable, from the wedding and all its tradition to the unique nature and just the atmosphere in general. There's something about it that just feels different. One thing I noticed is actually there's not a lot of tourists, which definitely makes it feel like more authentic. I also like that it's a very big country. It has a little bit of everything. But yeah, on that note, I would just like to say thank you guys so much for watching. This is still a bit of a new channel, but I really hope to make more content and share more experiences like this.